Alright. Hang on. Positioning of the car with the roof, not the easiest one. More? Alright. Sorry guys, like I said, definitely worth it. Waiting for all of this. Senza, if you want to start singing, this is your cue. This is so special to see all of them on top of a termite mound. I don't think I've seen lions on top of a termite mound in a very long time. What a stunning view. What a stunning view. I'm just so thrilled this is. And they're all looking quite sleepy, and who knows, maybe they're tired of having their paws wet. That looks like the face of a very unimpressed kitty. Are you tired of being wet? Oh, that is... wow. Yeah, you might be jealous of the roofs, as Lou says. I'm sure it's probably the case. I think they've actually just gotten tired of getting wet and walking through all the grass, because they've chosen one very bare spot. And they're all... I can count 4 heads from here. Oh, aren't you guys pretty? Look at you, all sleeping tucked in on top of that termite mound. It is wonderful. Oh, so sweet. This is... I think this has got to be one of my favorite views of them. Sam, you're wondering if we have no fear of the big cats pouncing on the car. Well, in this particular area, no. The lions that we see here, they've all been seeing cars since they were cubs, and they're all used to us coming around and moving around. So moving and approaching them and just making noises and smelling the way that we do. So you see, actually, when we got here, they might have just been like, oh, what's going on? And then they've carried on sleeping. So they're absolutely not bothered by us. They're not being sneaky or try to get to us. They just really don't care. Look at that face. That face says, I'm not really bothered. I want your roof. I don't want to be wet anymore. But even if they were to come down of the termite mound, often they would walk around us and just walk straight past the car and be fine. I have had experiences though with it was male lions. It was the Nwatsitsaka males that came from Kruger when I used to work further south in this reserve. Look at all their little wet hairs. That they hadn't seen as many vehicles, and they hadn't seen people or trackers in the front of the vehicle. So those particular lions were a bit grumpy around cars. So we had to give them quite a fair amount of space. And whenever we approached them, then the trackers would come back into the seat. And then eventually, as the months carried on, they became a little bit more relaxed. But then they went back into Kruger, and we didn't see them again. But those males were massive male lions. But that's the only cases, and they will still see a lot of car and tourist cars around Kruger, so they already had a notion, a perception of what the cars are and how to deal with them. But I mean, I just want to go and cuddle with all of them in that pile of lions, which probably would get me eaten. But one can dream. Stanley ×3, you're wondering if it's warmer on top of the mound. Well, it could be, but I don't think it would be significantly warmer. We know that hot air rises and cold air stays below, but I doubt that that is high enough to warrant much of a temperature difference. I think they're just up there because it's a drier spot. It's not as wet on top of the termite mound as it is all around us. And the good thing is, big enough termite mound just to make sure that everyone's fits in there. Oh, what a pretty view of these lions. You're so pretty. And they're all so sleepy, all of them. See another head tilting up. Look at all the rain. So you can appreciate now just how much water we've had and how the elements are always something to bear in mind for all the wildlife. Not only do they have to hunt their own food and go after them, but also they've got to be out here in the rain and just pretty much endure it. Today hasn't been that bad because it hasn't been pouring down, but I think that little grumpy face that we were talking about cats having when they get rained upon, it's almost like, oh, why me? It's a tragedy being wet, isn't it? Such a pretty lion face. I think this is warming my heart up. Look at all those ears. Beautiful. Stacy, you're wondering if it's just the cubs and no adults around. Well, I was actually wondering the same thing myself, because I don't know if there are some more on the other side of the mound. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a chance as I keep some of them at least tilting their head up. And then we're going to go see. If it's just the cubs, it could mean that the mothers have gone around hunting and they've left them behind while they've moved off. Like I said, I can only count 4 heads. I don't know if maybe some more of them are in the vicinity or if some more are just on the other side of the mound. I think it's a bit of a mystery that we'll have to solve in the next few minutes. But for now, I think we can enjoy this view of all of them.